Hello, bonjour, and welcome to your new Alti Wine Exchange video. Welcome to this channel where we explore, together we learn about and we taste the wonderful world of wine. If you're not familiar with the Alti Wine Exchange, it is a wine investment and trading platform as well as a wine club. Make sure to check out the link in the video description to learn more. Today, I want to talk to you and taste with you a very rare wine that comes from what I think is the most spectacular wine region in the world and one of the most reputable ones, of course, at that, the Douro Valley of Portugal. The Douro is where all the grapes for making the illustrious sweet Portuguese Port wines are produced, but top producers in the area also make some of the most extraordinary dry reds from there as well. The vines are very old in the Douro, the terroir is exceptional, so why not making top dry red wines as well? This is the type of wine that we're talking about today, a top producer in the area called Quinta do Vallado, making as good a red wine as they can with their oldest vineyard on the best terroir and bottling a very limited number of bottles for a few lucky customers. We at Alti Wine Exchange happen to have put our hands on a few bottles of it, one of them is right here, making them available to you through our latest initial bottle offering or IBO. So let's talk about and taste Quinta do Vallado Adelaide. Let's go. Quinta do Vallado is simply one of the very oldest wineries in the Douro, and remember, we're in the region where grapes for Portuguese Port wines are made and grown, and those have been enjoyed around the world for centuries. The British in particular have traded port wines for centuries, as you know. So Quinta do Vallado was founded in 1716, so they celebrated their 300th anniversary a few years back. Who else can say that? Most chateaux of Bordeaux we know today didn't even exist at that time, not even close, and the Quinta has remained in the same family ever since. That's how much tradition and know-how there is in this winery. Now, the Quinta is located on the banks of the Corgo River, a tributary of the Douro River, so it has these vineyards on these unique terraces built on very dry and very rugged schist rocks amongst stunning landscapes around the winery's actual historic Quinta buildings. So today, Quinta do Vallado has 10 hectares of old vineyards planted between the 1920s and 1950s and 50 hectares planted in the 1990s. So they virtually only have old vineyards on the estate. Yet the winery buildings are modern and equipped with the latest technology for modern winemaking, as it should be today. So we've got everything on hand to make a good wine to start with, right? Tradition, old vineyards, fantastic terroir, modern winery. But let's hear about that particular wine, which is obviously not their lesser. Adelaide is nothing less than the Quinta do Vallado's flagship Cuvée, of course, otherwise we wouldn't be presenting it to you. The wine they use their best grapes for, of course, and the wine they care about the most as far as winemaking process is concerned. It makes sense. In short, it is bottled and named in honor of Dona Antonia Adelaide Ferreira, the founding female figure of the Quinta, a legendary character in the area back in the 18th century. She founded the winery, or at least she's the figure there. It is made from one specific vineyard that delivers the best grapes, planted in the 1940s on the best terroir of the estate and traditionally planted as a field blend with more than 30 grape varieties. That's how they planted back then in this area, many grapes mixed and planted all together, which today gives an incredible complexity to the wines because so many grapes are grown and blended together from the vineyards. Adelaide is only bottled in exceptional years as well. If the vintage is not good enough for the highest quality, well, Adelaide doesn't exist for that vintage, and when it is bottled, it is in a very small quantity of approximately 4,000 bottles. As a comparison, a top chateau on the left bank of Bordeaux usually makes tens of thousands of bottles, sometimes up to 100,000 bottles per year. Here, 4,000 bottles. It's aged for 20 months in new Bordeaux-style French oak barrels from some of the best French coopers. And then there is the release date decision ritual. As a tribute to the great-great-grandmother of the current managers, Adelaide, remember, current managers, there are three. At the Quinta, João Francisco Ferreira and another Francisco Olazábal, who are three great-great-grandchildren of Adelaide. The wine is only released if unanimously the three of them are in agreement to release it after tasting it. Every year the three of them gather at the Quinta, they open a bottle of this wine and they decide whether the wine is good enough yet and ready to drink. The criteria is very simple. Does it have enough concentration? Does it have enough complexity, enough freshness, enough silky tannins? Is it rounded, mellowed enough by a few years of aging at the winery cellar to be released or not? If the three agree, Adelaide comes out. If one of them disagrees, put in front his veto, Adelaide will have to go back to the cellar for another year at least and wait for more. This is why only the 2015 vintage is released today in 2021. Enough background information, let's get tasting. This is what we're here for, and let the wine speak for itself, although I might have to translate a little bit. First off, you will notice that the wine really shines with extremely very vibrant, very intense and crisp red color. It looks very youthful as well, with loads of purple hues to it, a bit like a cherry juice, fresh, gorgeous cherry juice with all those purple tones to it. Clearly looking young is what it means for a 6-year-old wine. Let's smell. Wow, this nose is extremely subtle, almost relaxing, as it's so delicate. Really relaxing. Little notes of ripe cherries, a touch of blackberry and a little blueberry, so fruity on fresh berries, a basket of fresh mixed berries. If you wish, there's a bit of a hint of vanilla, a touch of smoky oak, delicate sweet spices as well, all very elegant and composed. Absolutely. But I think what gives this wine its composure and is such a relaxing, soothing, such a relaxing feeling when you smell this wine. And I think this comes down to a very floral character of violet flowers, which is so rare at this level of intensity, and it gives the fruitiness such a relaxing feeling. You're transported with your basket of mixed berries into a field of violet flowers. You're transported, you're inundated by all those floral characters. It's absolutely magnificent and soothing to taste that. It's hard to describe this feeling, but it's there. Let's taste. Wow, and the soothing, calming effect of this wine is actually carried over to the palate, incredibly so. In fact, you definitely have these violet floral characters to the taste as well. So a very rare level of floral characters in there, so much concentration of them, and that makes the wine so elegant. Behind the flowers are flavors of fresh blueberry, so that's also quite subtle, and blackberry as well, the fresh type, not jammy, really fresh, delicate oak vanilla as well, the spices like clove and nutmeg. So the relaxing feel also is amplified, is followed through thanks to the super smooth and silky tannic texture. It's really like silk on your mouth, really delicate, while there's a juicy and slightly salty acidity as well that intensifies the fruitiness. It makes you salivate as well, it makes you enjoy it more, and the flavors are all so subtle, yet the wine is so satisfying, concentrated, that you want to go for another sip. Essentially, I've just had a little one, but it's so satisfying. There is a really refined tasting experience right here in this glass, thanks to this floral character and the silkiness all combined in one glass of wine. I don't think I remember ever tasting such a soothing wine. It feels like a cloud of berries and violet flowers on your palate, but with such an intense yet light and airy, somewhat disconcerting experience in a way, but positively so here. An incredible tasting experience. Yes, I do want to go for another little sip. Wow, I mean, looking into the backstory of Adelaide and finding out how good and rare it actually tastes is actually quite a surprise. Sure, I can see how one would want to buy a few bottles of these wines and keep them for future very special occasions. Given how useful it is at these 6 years of age as well, given the quality of the tannins, the acidity, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure this wine is built to age 20, 30, 40 years. Why not? I wouldn't be surprised if in 40 years it was still spectacular. Who knows at this stage, but a very long time for sure this wine will age and better. These were my thoughts on Adelaide by Quinta do Vallado, again now available through the Alti Wine Exchange. You can check out the link in the video description. And that was it for me today. Take care, and I will see you soon in the wonderful world of wine. Cheers.